minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the gentleman from Florida for yielding and for bringing this legislation forward, and specifically want to talk about Title III of this bill, and that deals with the Restore Act. And, of course, this Friday will mark the 2-year anniversary of the Deepwater Horizon disaster. And people all across the country saw for weeks and weeks oil coming into the Gulf of Mexico, destroying ecosystems, destroying economic industries, and yet still to this day there is no mechanism in place to dictate what should happen to those fines that BP and the other responsible parties will have to pay under the Clean Water Act. And this component, the Restore Act, actually sets that policy out. And it was the result of a compilation of work by Republicans and Democrats from all 5 Gulf Coast states who came together and recognized that the most responsible thing to do would be to dedicate that money, 80% of those fines, to the Gulf Coast states so that we actually have revenue to go and restore the damage that's been done. I think most people recognize the right thing to do is to dedicate that money, not to send it up to Washington to be spent on things unrelated, but to actually allow us to restore the damage that was done in the Gulf of Mexico from that tragedy. And that's what this bill does. The mechanism is in place, and as we go to a conference committee, I feel very confident we can get to a point where we have the full Restore Act in the final product, so that there is no question that there is a commitment from this Congress that the Gulf Coast states ought to have the ability to restore the damage that was done during that tragedy. Of course, another component of this bill is the Keystone Pipeline. And I think as we look at the dilemma so many families are facing with escalating gas prices, the fact that you've got gas prices in some places already over $4 a gallon, experts predicting $5 a gallon gasoline, and here we have a friend in Canada saying that they want to send 1 million barrels a day of oil to America, which is 1 million barrels a day we don't have to get from these Middle Eastern countries who don't like us, sending billions of dollars to people, in essence funding the enemy in some of these terrorist battles across the Middle East. And we've got the ability to create 20,000 jobs and secure energy security. I look forward to passage of this legislation. I yield back.